So I have been working with Katrina for about a year, I think, no, just over a year now.
Yeah.
And we've been working, we had a couple of different experiences. So we had a 2 month Voxer support experience, which was daily contact with supporting over the course of 2 months. And then we've also been working together for a 12-month program, which we are in at the moment. We've still got a couple of months left. So, Katrina, could you please just introduce yourself and briefly describe your business, where you were at in your business before we started working together?
Yes, so I'm Katrina. I am the owner of Katrina's Bespoke Cakes. I started my business in 2019, in August 2019, which in hindsight for a wedding cake business was not the right time to just go into wedding cakes. So I had the first year of just trying to struggle through with COVID, booking lots of cakes in at quite low prices, just because I was just starting out. Had my first year in 2022 that was undisrupted by COVID. Worked so hard with a newborn. Did around 25 cakes. Got to the end of the year, realised I had absolutely nothing to show for all the hard work and the lack of time with my daughter over the summer. So 2023 came around. I knew that I needed to do something different, that it was either the turning point of I needed to leave this now or try something else. And then I came across Jackie.
Amazing. So had you at that point, because I know when we first started working together, you were just at a point where it's make or break now. Um,
100%. Yeah.
yeah. So what had you previously invested in terms of like support with your business?
So I'd done a couple of monthly support groups. Never really got anything out of it. I think I just wasn't in the right place at the right time. At that time even. I did a business course at the beginning of 2022, which again wasn't the right time just because it started about a week after my daughter was born. So didn't really have much time to dedicate to that either. Um, Realized that I had a few issues in terms of like price and things like that, but didn't know how to solve that issue. I think generally just from not having all the business knowledge, but also just from lack of confidence, that I knew I needed to change it, but it was too scary to change it. So just continued on, and then yeah, I got to the point where I realized that something had to change.
Yeah. And what made you make the decision to, because obviously we worked together just for a 2 month experience at that time. And I don't think we had worked together. I'd done a brand audit, hadn't I, for you, I think.
Yes. Yeah, you'd done
So
the
I'd done,
audit. There was
yeah.
so much information in that I was like, I need this person's help. I needed to help me more. And then when you brought out the 2 month, I think it was like a beta launch,
Yeah.
that was like a small enough step that I felt like I could take that without being too scared.
Yeah.
And then we just so much changed in those 2 months that it was an absolute no-brainer to go for
Yeah.
the, the full year course.
Amazing. And how did you find the results like within 2 months of working together? What sort of results did you find that you had within that time?
Um, I changed my prices instantly. That was like one of the first things that needed to increase. So it wasn't a big jump to the prices that I'm at now. It was from small to medium within those 2 months. But people were still booking. And that was like, I think the big mental block for me
Yeah.
was no one's going to book if I increase the prices. And they did. And I've got so many bookings within those 2 months that it was like, okay, I can make these changes and it's not
Yeah.
scary. It will work. Um, we went over all my branding. I'd updated loads of bits and bobs. Just increasing confidence. I think that was the main thing. Is I knew I needed to make those changes, but I didn't know how to do them, in what order to do them, and
Yeah.
how to do them. And you just kind of taught me through everything.
Yeah. And then obviously we are partway through our year of working together now. So what changes have you noticed within that time? I know you've had some pretty drastic changes in like what you're doing now. So yeah, just talk a bit about what you've experienced over the last however nine months, I think it is now.
Yeah. So first was to increase those prices even more. So that was, I think it was like February time that I did those. We'd updated everything else to meet that. So all of my experience and everything that the couples will go through was all increased as well. So it was the right time to make that change in pricing. Um, that also gave me the freedom to be able to work on other things as well now. So yeah, everything.
Yeah.
We're starting a podcast, which is going to go on YouTube as well. An academy that will be launching next year. So I can start teaching people how to make those changes as well and give them the confidence to move forward in their business.
So exciting.
Yeah, exciting
Amazing.
changes.
So how many cakes were you delivering on average in a month before we started working together?
So that year of 2022, I think I had 25 or 26 that year. And like I said, I literally had nothing at the end of it.
Yeah.
With all like outgoing like websites, etc. Um, had nothing at the end, not enough to warrant how hard I was working.
Yeah.
I was working more than I was in my previous job, and in like the tiniest fraction. I was obviously happier because I was doing the business that I wanted to be doing, but that happiness is not very long lasting when you don't have the results at the end.
Yeah.
So the year after was a bit lower. I think like late 20s. And then this year I've had about 11 or 12, but I've actually earned more money than I did when I had 25, 26, 27 cakes.
Yeah.
And this is actually the first year I've actually been able to put money into savings rather than just going in and out of the business. So yeah,
Amazing.
that was like a massive change.
Yeah.
And now I've got the same-ish booked in for next year already. So I'm fully booked for 3 months and continuing into the year. And I'm on track to earn even more than I had this year. So
Amazing. And
really
how has
important.
it changed your lifestyle? Because I know before you were just sort of burning out with trying to deliver all these cakes around a newborn as well. So how has it changed in terms of like your lifestyle now?
Oh, complete change. I'm not having to stay up until the middle of the night to get things done. Um, this year has still been a little bit busier than I would like going forward, but obviously that was like weddings work different that you've already like booked in a few years before.
Yeah.
So next year I don't have more than one cake in 1 week, which is going to be amazing. It just changes everything. So throughout the summer where the actual weddings are happening, I'm not going to be as stressed because my daughter's not going to be at school. Um, and also like the build up at the beginning of the year, so all the consultations and the um sample boxes and everything, all of that point of in time is also going to be less stressful. So yeah, just massively different.
Yeah.
Less stressed, less panicky, knowing that I'm actually going to have something at the end to show from it, which just makes a massive difference.
Yeah. And you're happier as well. Like, I know you're a happy
So much.
person anyway, but when we first started working together, you just didn't know what to be focusing on.
I had
Um,
no idea.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it you knew what you needed to do, but it was then having the accountability there and taking the actions. So having that
Completely.
guidance there. What would you say to somebody that is wanting to create more freedom, wanting to be able to have that confidence to increase their prices so that they don't have to be working so much on a one-to-one basis? What would you say to somebody that was on the fence about investing in themselves, and just based on your experience?
I think based on my experience, obviously that step is scary. If you're going from not having a regular income or not as much as you actually want there to be, then obviously having doing that financial transaction, can't think of the word, is obviously a very daunting thing to do. But so much can change so quickly after that. So within less than a year, um, I've easily been able to cover the cost of working with you and more, and also plan for like the next few years where I know that for definite I'm going to be earning more as well. So
Yeah.
I think if it's the financial part that's keeping you from doing it, then don't let it. I know that sounds really silly, but don't let it worry you. I think if you're willing to put the work in, then it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Um, the change that I've had over the last year has been incredible, and I'm no longer worried about where I'm going to go, what I'm going to be doing, because I know exactly what I'm going to be doing and how much money I'm going to be bringing in. And well, not exactly how much money I'm going to be bringing in, but at least a minimum.
Yeah.
Like I know for definite that this is going to be there, and anything else is going to be a bonus. But also, like it will be there because I have all of these things in place that are going to give me that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
that's
you're
what I would.
about to go on maternity leave as well. So how does that look for you in terms of being ready to have maternity leave and actually take some time off versus how it was last time?
Completely different. So with my daughter, she was born in February 2022, and I had my first cake in March 2022. So I'd literally, in fact, it was the day after coming out of hospital that I was emailing people for that cake to make sure that everything was in place, everything I needed was there. Um, so yeah, that the fact that this time I have a structure in place, I have a plan for what I want to do while on maternity, but it's not like I have to do it. This is going to be a nice slow process, where I want to launch at this point. I want this to happen here, but there isn't like the stress of I need to deliver this cake to this paying customer right now.
Yeah.
Um, and I have from like October to June is my first cake. So I'm actually been able to give myself the whole, like all of those months rather than 4 weeks that I gave
Incredible.
myself with my daughter. And it wasn't just that one cake with her. It was the month after was like two cakes. The month after was like four cakes. And like I said, I've like 25 that year. So from March to September, yeah, September, October-ish time, that's a lot of time where I wasn't able to spend that with her, that she was having to be looked after by other people. So I could um meet those deadlines. Whereas this time I'm going to have a good 6 months
Yeah.
with them both, which is just amazing.
Yeah. So it's now having that business model in place that's working around your lifestyle rather than your lifestyle working around your business and trying to find
Completely.
time.
Yeah. And obviously like all the automation and stuff that we're going to do as well.
Yeah.
It's just going to mean that I don't have to just sit in front of a computer answering emails. Everything's just going to be working for me. And then I can just pick that up when I have the time to, rather
Yeah.
than having to make the time to do it.
Incredible. Well, it's been so amazing watching your journey so far. I cannot wait to see what is next for you and yeah, just support you for the rest of this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.